Hi, Leo. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2023 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic World spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom, the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright. So we have the South Node, and the South Node is actually in Libra, which is your third house of communication, short journeys, and siblings. We have fourth house energy for you guys is Scorpio. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there now, but generally speaking, the fourth house points to home, roots, and mother. And we have Pisces. So for you guys, Pisces is actually your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. And there will be a full moon in Pisces right at the very end of August. So you guys might be feeling that as we move into September. And then, of course, we also have Neptune and Saturn. That's been in Pisces for quite some time as well. All right, so moving on to your main spread. Sorry. We have the King of Wands challenging the Knight of Wands. So really what I'm seeing with this is you might be feeling this urge to have some more adventure, right? Some more variety in your lives. But with this in the challenge position, it could just be one of those things where you might feel like a sense of obligation, let's say. So super generic example, right? Let's say maybe you climbed the ranks at your job, right? And you got promoted to, let's say, a management position, right? Now there's this part of you that wants to take some long vacation somewhere, right? Possibly even overseas or something along those lines. But now you feel like, oh, what I have that sense of obligation, right? Because of this position I accepted. So it could just be one of those things where you could be holding yourself back from a little bit of adventure that you feel pulled toward taking at this time. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, again, like I said, similar theme there to where it just seems like your focus just might be primarily more on your work at this time, even though you're feeling pulled somewhere else. I feel like the sense of duty and obligation you have is winning out at this time to where you're going to put more energy toward that. All right, in the balanced position, we have the Magician. So yeah, for some of you, this could be pointing to the situation as far as why you feel that way, right? Because if we look at putting it back in the spread, it looks like they're pointing right toward the 8 of Pentacles. So it could just be saying that at one time that might have been something you wished for, right? To have that position to where you were able to do this for work or whatever the case may be. And now because of that, that's where that sense of obligation is coming in, right? So you almost might feel guilty, like, okay, you know what? I really asked for this for so long. I worked so hard to get here for so long, right? So now that I have it, I have to stick with it. So it could just be one of those things where, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a job thing, but that's the first thought that came to mind, feeling that push-pull dynamic between work and play. All right, in the present position, we have the 9 of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this is just really starting to cause a lot of anxiety within you, right? Because that I'm sure that pull feels pretty strong for you to go out and experience a more adventure, step away from the work that you're doing. But again, like we already, I don't want to keep repeating it, but yeah, it just feels like you just feel that sense of obligation that's holding you back though. In the near future position, we have the 9 of Wands. So yeah, it looks like you're going to feel that energy for quite a bit. Now, to be fair, I mean, we still have Venus retrograde in your sign. Mercury retrograde's about to start at the time I'm recording this, so we have that coming into play as well. So it's just one of those things where having those retrogrades might not be helping matters any rate, as far as you might feel stuck, like you can't necessarily make a move that you'd like to at this time. But yeah, it looks like you'll just still be feeling like you can't necessarily do that thing that you want because you might feel like in a way it would be irresponsible given your current circumstances. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Two of Cups. So yeah, definitely just seems like you just have a desire for something new, something fresh, right? Where you feel like you have a meeting of the minds, something that just rejuvenates you in some way, So maybe you just become so accustomed to this thing that you are doing, it's become like two routines where you're like, okay, I just need a little bit more adventure, right? Something to really engage me. Right. In the environment position, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, for some of you might actually feel an urge to come forward and actually make an offer to someone for something new. Now, for some of you, this could even be, again, like we said, if it is a work thing, right? Especially, let's say, if you work for yourself, right? So like, okay, I was hoping to get my business off the ground and get it up to this level. Now it's there, and now it's keeping me super busy. But how do I step away from that, right? So you could be possibly looking for some help around that, something along those lines. And then if this is more of a romance thing, it could just be you actually looking to extend an offer to someone to build a connection. Right? In the hopes or fears position, we have the Death card. So this is Scorpio energy here. We also saw that come up in your dice. So yeah, it could just be saying, so for example, maybe the fear around this could just be maybe that was something that you learned from your early upbringing, right? That you have to always work, right? So it could just be something that's been ingrained in you early on, and now you have that fear that, oh, okay, if I do step away, right? If I do want to go overseas to explore something for a month, will I lose my position, right? Things along those lines. So it could just be one of those things that's been with you for a while, and you're probably just really feeling it come back up to the surface now. All right, in the outcome position, we have the Chariot. So yeah, the good thing here is it looks like you will be able to see a way forward as we get toward the end of the month. It could just be coming down to the fact that we'll have that full moon in Aries toward the end of the month, which is a supportive energy for you as a fellow fire sign. And that's a ninth house full moon too, so it might just help you see a way forward where you could really balance the two things, right? Because we see the balance with the colors in the Chariot card too, so it could just be saying, okay, I could do a little of this and a little of that, right? So I feel like you'll find that happy compromise. Okay, and bottom of the deck we have the Four of Swords, so Libra energy here. And yeah, so on the one hand, it could just be saying for some of you might feel like this is what you need, right? Some time away, some time to rest. And for others of you, could just be saying you might feel like, all right, I've already gone through that period, and now I'm dedicated to the work. So even if I'm feeling pulled to take more time away, I'm not going to allow myself to do that, right? Moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have Don't Make Assumptions, and it says ask for what you want. All right. It says find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. So yeah, again, like I said, if this is around, especially if it's around a work thing, right, and you feel like some sense of guilt, like, oh, I can't possibly step away from my work right now. I really put in the work to get assigned this big project, and now, what would they think if I were to step away in the middle of it to go do X, Y, Z, right? One of those things there. So, hope that resonates. For your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Never Ending Story. There's the artwork, and the number is 37. Let's see what this has to say. All right, essential meaning says self-criticism, the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. The Oracle's message: there is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It is the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. So yeah, interesting to read that message there, because that brings me back to what I was saying as far as we got the fourth house energy with the dice, and then when I saw the death card, which also is fourth house energy for you guys, that led me toward a similar interpretation there. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. The relationship message says sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other, more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable that knowledge is, however. Right now, you have an opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, you need to forgive yourself for telling yourself the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives. None of them were ever true anyway. So, definitely an interesting message there as well, because from a more romantic angle, right, it could be something similar there, where, like I said, you might have really found yourself digging your feet in around a certain perspective at a certain point, and now you might be yearning for something, but feel like you've already convince yourself of your own narrative that you couldn't have those kinds of things. So hopefully that resonated with you if that's the case. The prosperity message says fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could all be active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Maybe you're afraid of all the good that is coming your way, so you step out of your lane, totally aware of what you're doing, but seemingly powerless to stop yourself. Are you back where you started, or in a situation that reminds you of a past failure? Financial insecurity scaring you? You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. Use criticism constructively right now. Better yet, stop telling this story altogether. Make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story, and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. And then given that we do have the Chariot in the outcome, it seems like that is a possibility for you guys to shift that perspective. So hopefully that resonated. All right, and lastly we have Mudra. This is your Mudra here. It's the Adhomukha Mudra. The keyword for it is preparation. All right, let me see if I can get everything in the frame. There we go. So yeah, if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to realize to say you can. But under benefits, it says activates Manipura chakra, strengthens digestive fire, increases transformative and self-healing powers, reduces toxicity, readies the mind for meditation, prayer, or recitation of mantras. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description of the video. As always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.